Cool. How are we doing?
Good.
Good. I'm doing fantastic. We've had a great off-season program so far. We're call it 6.5 weeks into it now. The first 6 weeks went really well, just from what we're trying to achieve objective-wise. We got a lot of players, not just as football is concerned, getting better in that area, but they're working hard in the weight room and conditioning-wise. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger as a team, and that was really the number one objective that we're looking to get done. And so that continues on now that we've hit phase 3. It's been nice to get out on the grass and get a little bit more full-speed football going. We're making mistakes just like we thought we would. Second day of install here today, and you could tell we had a little bit more mentals and more pre-snap penalties, and the little details kind of fell to the wayside. So we'll clean that up as we go, but the guys are working their tails off. It's been fun to watch them compete. It's been fun to watch the coaches coach, and really excited about the direction that we're headed right now. It's come to my attention that the quarterback's been out in the media over the last week, and just to get out in front of that a little bit, I just wanted to say I wasn't here last year, and so I can't speak too much in terms of what it was like before he got here and when he got here last year. But from my 4 months on the job, he's been outstanding to work with, and we just are focusing on getting a little better every day.
And what's your process of building the trust with Caleb and getting his full buy-in under your watch?
Yeah, it starts with developing a rapport and a trust, and that's earned over time. You don't walk in day one and expect that to be achieved. And so the more time we spend together, he understands that I have his best interests at heart, and vice versa. He's going to go out there and play as well as he possibly can, not just for himself or me, but for the whole team and the city. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So we're very much aligned in terms of what we want to get done, and it just takes more time on task in terms of getting on the same page with how we're going to do it.
Are there ways that you watch film with your quarterbacks that might be, does it vary from coach to coach? When you've got these 4 guys here, are there things that you're teaching them that they need to, see the way that you see it? Is that a part of this part of the time of the year? Is that part of the process of teaching them, or?
Yeah, everyone's different. I've been around a number of coordinators, a number of quarterback coaches, and so I would say my style is kind of a combination of everything that I've been around and I've come to learn and love and appreciate. And so there's a process that I believe in, that we believe in as an offensive staff, that we're adhering to this springtime, and we're going to stay true to that. How we're going to develop that position in particular, and those guys are doing a great job working hard right now at it.
What do you think when you hear it uttered, as in from the article, from the upcoming book, that Chicago is where quarterbacks go to die? Like, from a distance, did you see that, and what do you think when you hear that?
I love it. I love the opportunity to come on in and change that narrative. That's where great stories are written. And so we're looking to write a new chapter here, 2025 Chicago Bears, and looking forward to the future.
Coach, you're still getting to know you as a coach, as a head coach, watching you move around the grass. You mentioned some of those details kind of falling by the wayside. One of the times I heard you get a little elevated in terms of your voice today was going at Cole Kmet about, like, right when he's lined up. What was that minor detail, and why is it so important to stay on top of those things early?
It's the way we're coaching every position right now. I think particularly on offense from me, and then on defense with DA, every position's heard it the same way, and we're just communicating. It's loud in there, you know that, so sometimes your voice gets a little bit elevated at times, and we're just communicating that it's not good enough and we need a little bit better.
Daniel Harding moves well for a special teams player.
Sure does, yeah.
Does he move well enough to be in the mix at linebacker?
Yeah, we're finding out. He's toggled a little bit between defensive line, and we're going to experiment a little bit with him this springtime in training camp to see what he looks like dropping into coverage for us, and what we're asking our linebackers to do. So I do know this. He's got some pass rush ability. He's shown that over his time here, and that's intriguing, but we're going to look to expand his skill set as well.
Ben, when the story comes out last week, is that something that you felt obligated to talk to Caleb about, and to talk about where he's coming from there?
Have we talked about it? Yeah, we talked about it last week after it came out, but he's his own man. He's going to be treated as such. I think we're both really looking forward to turning the page on years prior and focusing on the here and now.
Ben, we're obviously getting kind of just used to watching you run a practice, your mannerisms, what you
What'd you think?
Well, I was gonna ask you, the amount of agitation you saw today, is that typical Ben Johnson, or is that just early growing pains with what's going on?
You saw agitation today? Yeah, no, I thought that was normal, so. I'll work to get my body language under control. I'm talking about that with the players, so I need to do a better job myself.
We
I'm
haven't,
on it.
we haven't talked to you since Burton went down in practice. Is he hurt? Is that the reason for his absence?
Yeah, he wasn't there today. We're working through a little soft tissue deal with him right now, and remains to be seen when we'll get him back.
Then we saw Caleb's footwork get foot forward, is that something that's last season footwork?
Yeah, I mean, I've done it a number of ways in my time in the league, and really over the last few years, I've kind of gravitated towards that. It's something that I feel pretty strongly about. He and I talked about it, the reasons why we want to do it. I think it helps out certainly with the quick game from the gun, and then helps us be in a little bit better throwing posture for a lot of the other things that we're asking him to do. So when we talked about it initially, he was already kind of exploring that himself. So it wasn't so much us telling him to do it. It was more a mutual, yeah, let's see what this looks like. And I think he's taken a knack to it.
How do you go about not breaking, but changing somebody's habits that they've had their entire career to, okay, this is how we want you to stand. The feel may be a little bit different, the actions may be a little bit different, but the result has to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've asked in all these guys right now. They're all doing some things a little bit different than what they've done in their past, whether at this level or in college. You're learning, you're growing. They are getting uncomfortable with it. I go back, when I was young, someone told me it takes 21 days to learn a new habit and let it get in your unconscious. I don't know if that's true or not, but the good news is this: we had 3 or 4 good weeks on the grass with him in phase 2 and that prior mini camp that we were able to get ahead of a lot of that. And he did a great job in the downtime, just going ahead and taking it and running with it, and when the coaches weren't around as well. And we're not talking so much about the feet and the footwork anymore with him, and it's more big picture plays, routes, ball location, coverages. It's more big picture stuff now.
You talked a couple weeks ago about relating to certain players and coaching each individual the way that they need to be coached. Do you have a sense of how you as a head coach can get through with Caleb and what you need to do to really get the best out of him in that relationship?
It's still early. It's still early. We're getting to know each other. He's been in the building 6 weeks now, 6.5 weeks now, and getting to know him on a personal level. And the more time we spend together, the better I feel. We got a great coaching staff around him as well, with JT Barrett leading the charge. Declan's in the room. Press Taylor's in the room. So we've got some good seasoned voices in there. And then you bring in a guy like Case Keenum. He does a great job with his experience bridging that gap sometimes between coaching and playing, and finding any potholes that could be in there. So I feel really good about the mix around him, and that allows the relationship just to naturally form.
He's talked a lot about his desire to have structure and to be coached hard. You gotta love that as a coach.
Oh, yeah.
Get through to him that way?
Yeah, I think the great ones, they want to be coached hard, and that's really the assumption we're making with all these guys. They all, at one point in time, they've either come up to my office or DA's office or Coach Hightower's office, and they've all told us how much they want to be a good player, a good team. They want to be a part of greatness, and so we're going to treat them as such, and part of that is coaching them hard.
The touch.
What did you see him in the practice field, and how well would you say he's been picking?
Yeah, no, I'm extremely impressed. To be a second-year guy, you would expect a little bit more inconsistency, and yet the way he approaches the meeting room, the walkthroughs, the on the field, the drill work, it's very much like a seasoned pro, some of the best that I've been around. And so he's still learning. I know there's a lot of information that he is getting thrown his way. Coach Randall and Picasso, they're doing great jobs with him right now, and I think we're going to see a lot of growth from him, not just in the springtime, but once we get to camp.
What are your thoughts on the tush push? It's gonna stick around. They've tried to, or a group of teams tried to overturn it. The vote did not pass.
Man, I tell you what, does it become an explosive play ever? Have you ever seen a tush push become an explosive play?
Does it become a first down or a touchdown?
Yeah, I like explosive play. I like big plays. So I'm not a big tush push guy myself. Thank you.